Hey everyone, this is Elias from RevMatch Media. Today we're going to be test driving the 2020 Kia Telluride. Just look at it. It's big, it's mean, it's green. Let's go for a ride. Now before we get in for the drive, I wanted to show you one cool feature that I really liked. If you just kind of hang out here behind, it does that. It opens up the trunk wirelessly. Well, yeah, actually remoteless, because, well, I do have the remote in here, but it opens up as soon as you get near it. It's actually a pretty great feature to have. You don't have to do the fancy, can dancing, trying to figure out where that little sensor is at the bottom. You don't have to fumble for the keys, and you don't have to press a button on the tailgate. It just opens up as soon as you get near it. Now that's great because a lot of times I'm carrying some of these big bags, not just that they're a book bag, but you're also carrying other things. So the fact that it opens up on its own was a great little feature that I discovered when I was trying to load up the car with all the camera gear. The back isn't the biggest, but you still have enough space. If we take a regular book bag, we are able to put it this way, and you have enough to do a couple of those or a couple of grocery bags back here. Not to worry though, because what you can actually do is actually put these seats down and it gives you more space. I can't put this one down because the baby seat's there, but it does give you a large amount of space. Now, not only do you have this one that you're able to put down, now this one's manual, but the one in the second row, there is a little button here on the side that lets you put that one down and lets you haul really long things. Now you still have the function that if you want to just use the remote, you can open and close the back. I still prefer to get close to it though. Now here's another cool little touch. It's not that much of a big deal, but it just looks pretty cool when you get near it and the mirrors just pop out. So let's start talking about the outside of the Kia Telluride. Man, does it tell you it's there. It's big, bold, and ready to get your attention. It's funny because I've been telling my friends, hey, look, this is the car that I'm driving for the week. And I literally had 3 people say, oh, is that a Cadillac? Now, if that doesn't tell you your styling is right, I don't know what does. So it's definitely there. It's Kia's new DNA. It's Kia's new design DNA. It's trying to get away from, the typical Kias that we're used to from like the late 90s, early 2000s of, them being economical cars and, just really 4 wheels, bare bones. If you just need to get to point A to point B, that's what you got. Now, with the new Kia, it's still gonna have that function where it will get you to point A to point B, but you'll just look significantly better doing it. So the outside, it's beautiful. The color, the green moss color, I believe is the name, something along those lines, but it's just this dark green, and it has so much depth in the paint, so it's really a beautiful color. And then those big wheels, those big black wheels, look amazing with that green color as well. And it really sits at a nice height where it looks very sporty. And those headlights are incredible. They're super bright at night. They really are clean. You're able to see things clearly. One thing I would like to have though is maybe adaptive headlights. I don't know if that's available or possible, but it definitely, because it's such a big car, there's times, when I was trying to make a right turn on something, it was a little difficult, so the cutoff for the lights are a little strong. So definitely having the like adaptive lights for it to turn a little bit. I experienced that in a recent car, and it definitely was a huge difference. I was wondering, I was like, man, why could I see everywhere that I was going to go? So that would be one thing I'd say, you know, would need some work. Now, when we get to the back, the rear is awesome. I love the way it looks. Again, big and bold. It's there. And those taillights are, again, big and bold. So it's definitely a great presence to it. When we get on the inside, it gets even better. This one has the white interior with the, I don't know what kind of wood this is, but it's beautiful. I'll tell you that. Typically, I'm not a fan of white, but this actually is very clean, actually. So it's very easy to clean as well. Steering wheel is great. Very similar to the Kias that you get. You get your very simple functional buttons within range. I still have my pet peeve with that little mode button. I keep thinking it's the mode of the car. It's really more of the mode of the stereo. So, little thing if I were to nitpick at things. But yeah, everything is great on the wheel. Feels nice and comfortable. There's a screen in the middle that is so informative. So there's so much information that you can choose from here. Right now I'm in drive mode comfort. So I'm just kind of letting it float right now, and it's, you know, it gives me all this information that I can choose different things, like seeing the power distribution, because this is the 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive model. So it does distribute the power between the wheels, and I can actually see a little diagram showing me where the power is distributed. With the V6, we have a V6 in this, all-wheel drive, 8-speed automatic transmission. They work well. This V6 feels stronger than it did last time that I was, you know, I was driving it. So it definitely is got a throaty sound to it when you really want to get on it. Let's make some distance and I'll have you guys hear it. Yeah, so it can really get, you know, you can really hear it, which is a nice little feature. But it's super quiet when you don't. Now, when we talk about the handling, we have different modes. We have sport, we have comfort, we have eco, smart, and snow. As far as suspension goes, I don't feel a difference. I don't feel a difference between them. That's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing because any mode you're in, really, it's just so dialed in. The suspension feels great. You know, if you want to get the car turning, it really doesn't roll much. It's a nice a platform, but it's soft enough that you can absorb any bumps that you may encounter. Even with the big wheels, it doesn't feel like a big wheeled car or SUV. It feels very sporty, but still comfortable. Now, the technology in this thing is incredible. The Telluride has God knows how many cameras. When you put the turn signal on, it shows me right on the gauges my camera that's on my mirror, and it shows me my blind spot. So that's actually pretty incredible, and it does it for obviously left or right. And not only that, but my heads-up display also indicates if I have someone in my blind spot. So these safety features that you didn't think you needed, you would really appreciate in this car when you don't have it. So it's really an incredible package that you have with the Telluride. When we get to the infotainment a little bit, it's very similar to what we had in the Kia Soul. Now, that's not a bad thing, because it breaks it up into kind of like 3 sections. So right now I have the built-in GPS, my AV, so my audio video. Right now I have it off so that obviously I can record with you guys, but I can see my music there via Bluetooth or if I use CarPlay. And I have my local weather, so I can choose that. I can move things around. So it's a great little thing. It's a touchscreen, which you guys know I'm not a fan of touching it, but it's fairly within reach. The menu systems are easy enough to understand, get through. You know, again, you can control a lot of things here on the steering wheel. It works well. It works well. And the speaker system, the Harman Kardon that this is equipped with, it's definitely loud. It's loud, but it's clear. So if you can afford the option, definitely want to go with that. Now, you know, coming into the inside as well, coming down a little bit, you have your climate control, and you have one of my favorite features is the butt coolers. So yes, this was the car that I first discovered butt coolers and thought, this is incredible. We definitely need this on every single car. So that is a huge plus. I love that. It's always on cool for me. It's been really hectic with weather here in Texas. We've had some really high temperatures and really low temperatures, and I've been working with both the cooling and the heating, and they definitely work well. It also has a heated steering wheel. Incredible. It really gets hot, so I had to really turn that one off so that, you know, it doesn't get too hot. But it's definitely a great added feature to this. My other favorite thing is the wireless charger. So this comes built in with a wireless charger. You can put your iPhone there, and it's a great little thing because you don't have to deal with wires. You don't have to run it through everywhere, you know, on your car to really, you know, get the charge to it. So the wireless charger is a nice added little feature there. And you can just close the lid, out of sight, out of mind, and control everything you want from your infotainment system. Now, when we go down to the other selector, we have kind of the mode, and we have the Smart, we have the Sport, Comfort, Eco, and Snow. Now again, like I said, the suspension doesn't really feel any different. I don't know if it's supposed to, but it's still dialed in the way it should. And we have the it's really more of the engine, I think, and it feels that way. I've been really staying in the Smart mode because it's actually pretty good at switching from Eco, Comfort, and the Sport mode. So there's really no need for me to be switching over from one mode to another, or staying in one specific mode and then kind of sacrificing, oh, if I want Eco, I'm not going to have the responsiveness, or if I have Sport, I'm not going to have the gas savings. So Smart mode gives you a little bit of everything. It gives you the combination of all of those, and it does it really well. So if I'm not too strong on the throttle, it'll start going into Eco mode and be a great added savings of your gas. But if I really hit it hard and I really accelerate, it's gonna switch over and it's going to go into that Sport mode and stay there for a while till it says, okay, it looks like you've had enough fun. So that's a great little feature there. We have the auto stop of the engine. Immediately we turn that one off. And then you have the auto hold. The auto hold does just that. It holds the car automatically when you brake. So it's a good little feature, and it's a good feature because the brakes on this are very linear, very smooth, very grippy as well. But it's not a braking where you hit it slightly and you're eating a windshield or panicking and having to press it really hard or fit really far. Now, you do have to maintain a good amount of pressure when you are stopped with it. So definitely the auto hold is something that I've been using frequently because, again, once you're stopped, you really have to have a fair amount of pressure to hold the car, more than others that I've dealt with, which is not a bad thing because you definitely want that bite. But if you're stuck in traffic, it can be a little tiring. Then we have the cameras. Man, this thing has so many cameras. I don't even know where they are. They're in the mirrors, they're in the front, they're in the back. I don't know, but it makes parking really easy. It's a very wide SUV, so I'm not used to this wide of a vehicle. So I'm appreciative that those cameras exist because it's gonna help me and park the Telluride in a spot in the correct way. So definitely a great little added feature that you can just pop in the cameras and see what's going on around you. And with those cameras, it definitely helped out with all the sensors that it has. I was backing up and all of a sudden I didn't see a car, but it alerted me and stopped the car from turning. So definitely a great safety feature to have and help out. So those are kind of the technology, which is amazing to have all of these things in a Kia. The seats are very comfortable. The cooling is unbelievable. So it's keeping me cool right now, even with the AC off so that you guys can hear me clearly. And yeah, it does the job. It cools it, it warms it up really fast, and they're just very comfortable. I can just relax, kind of sit back and allow the seats to kind of mold around me. So it's very, very comfortable in that aspect. Now we go to the back row. So this is 3 row seatings. So second row is captain's chair. So we have the 2, you know, same as you would in the front. And they're very comfortable. They have this enough space in between. The kiddo was in the back, wasn't able to reach my passenger seat, which sometimes he has a tendency of kicking. So that was a great feature, the fact that there's so much space there. When we get to the third seat, now we test drove the Lexus the other time, and the third seat in that was virtually useless. And I hate to say that because I love that SUV, but the fact that it was so tiny, I felt so cramped. Not in this though. In this, there's just as much space in the second row as there is in the third row, which is incredible. So you can really use all 3 in the back, the 2 in the middle and the 2 in the front comfortably. And you won't have a problem with space or anyone, you know, complaining of, oh, I gotta go sit in the third row. So that's definitely a plus if you have a big family or you need to haul a lot of people. It's got a sunroof in the front, but in the back it's got a really massive sunroof as well. It doesn't open up, but it does have, it's just a clear glass window, but it just lets in so much light, and it keeps things bright in here. So it's definitely a great little feature with this. It's funny, I just had a guy behind me pointing at the Telluride, kind of telling his wife, well, it looks like, oh, that's a cool SUV. So definitely, like I said, guys, it really gets people's attention because it's like, what is that? Is that a Cadillac? So yeah, I mean, it's definitely a great looking car, and it feels great inside. Now, I thought this was gonna take the price really high up for Kia and what you're kind of used to seeing with Kia, but you get all this for $46,000. This one, the way it's equipped, is $46,000. That's unbelievable. Like you get, when you look at other brands, you get half of that for just as much money, or you have to pay double that to get anywhere near this. There's just so much in this package, and I'm excited to see what's gonna be the second generation of this, because you've set the bar really high. So how do you follow up with that? The dealers really can't keep them in the lots. I've had, you know, a couple of friends wanting to get one and looking for them, and they don't want to get the base model because they just love all the features of the fully loaded one, and the price is still affordable. So even though you may see some more baseline models in the dealership, you're definitely not seeing the higher end trims because it's such a great value for your money. So why even bother getting the base model? Again, they're really not keeping them in the dealership because it just makes sense to get this fully loaded or, you know, really loaded up version of the Telluride. It's definitely on the want list. We definitely want to have this. If you're looking at one, good luck finding one, because these are definitely a hot buy right now. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed my review of the 2020 Kia Telluride. If you have any questions or want you know, if you have any further questions, something I didn't review, feel free to leave it in the comments. We'll definitely answer them as soon as we can. And I hope you enjoyed. Later, guys.